Peace, family, and welcome to my channel. Today's video is going to briefly go over the vintage industrial singer that I run every day in my work. I acquired it last year from my dear Aunt Regina. Because it came secondhand, there was a lot of information that I had to look for. Thankfully, I also had a teacher who had the same model in his shop, and so he was able to answer a lot of my questions. He also warned me against running certain fabrics on this machine because it's not made to run everything. And so I wanted to share all those things with you. I also want to provide links to the user manual and parts list. And in the description, I'm also going to include the details on two stores in the Winston area that I've used for materials, for supplies. For example, this nifty double welt foot. The history of this machine really makes me smile because my mom and her sisters grew up in West Baltimore. My aunt used this machine decades ago to help support her family, working with local interior designers to create custom cushions and pillows. She's now in her early 70s, and when I visited last year, I was able to bring the machine back to North Carolina with me. The 241-2 has a K-leg tabletop assembly and overhead bulb that includes the foot pedal and the treadle, knee lifter for the presser foot, comes with a really noisy clutch motor that makes the machine run very fast. So if you're looking to slow down the speed, I've seen videos online that demonstrate changing out the clutch for a servo motor, S-E-R-V as in Victor O. I've opted not to make any changes. Just want to follow the thread path to demonstrate the distance between the plate and the presser foot. Even with a flexible hinged foot, that thumb screw that adjusts the pressure on the fabric is only going to give you but so much room. At its highest setting, you are not going to be able to run 4 layers of really heavy leather without dragging the teeth across your fabric. And so for those projects, I have access to a Console 226 that also provides a longer stitch length, which is really nice for top stitching. Speaking of stitch length, this is the plunger that works with the balance wheel to adjust the stitch length. Notice the markings A through L. It seems to me your longest stitch A on this machine is still shorter than the shortest stitch on the Console 226. Can't forget about the tension discs, righty-tighty. You can adjust tension here or on the bobbin itself, but try to set the bobbin and just leave it alone. One comment about the seam allowance markings. When I brought this machine home, it was weeks before I stopped letting my eye drift to the wrong line. Okay, do not judge me. The second one from the left is the 1/2 inch seam marking. This plate grants access to the bobbin case and bobbin. You cannot use the pre-wound bobbins, unfortunately, they don't fit. Um, there is a minimum needle size that corresponds to each thread size. On my machine, I run a size 18 needle and a V69 bonded nylon thread. If you're working with marine vinyl, sewing outdoor cushions or seating, you really want to pair it with UV bonded thread, which is even stronger because it protects against deterioration from sunlight. This little porthole looking fellow is the oil flow window. You got to be sure the self-oiling system is working when you're sewing. So watch for oil to drip in that window. If it's not dripping, you may not be running your machine fast enough. If I tip the machine back and rest it on the wooden peg, I'm going to expose the oil reservoir. This is what feeds the automatic lubricating system. It's really important to keep the oil level high as indicated by the pictured markings. What type of oil, you ask? I bought this Singer oil from Joann Fabrics. I have a colleague that suggested using mineral oil, which I have mixed with the Singer oil before and been really pleased with the machine's performance. And so lastly, if there's anything that you want to see a video on specifically, I don't know, threading the needle or using the bobbin winder, just drop a comment and I will do my best to oblige. Thanks.